The alien warships blocked out the sun over Earth. 7 massive vessels hung in the sky like black wounds, and beneath them, the Vektari ground forces marched without mercy. They had conquered 12 worlds before this one. They expected Earth to fall within days. They did not expect the mountain to wake up. Deep inside Mount Krevar, buried beneath 3 kilometers of rock and steel, Commander Elena Vasquez stood before a wall of monitors. Her hands trembled as she read the reports. Moscow had fallen. Beijing was burning. The European defense line had collapsed 6 hours ago. The Vektari were unstoppable. Their soldiers stood 3 meters tall, covered in armor that laughed at human bullets. Their weapons turned tanks into melted scrap. Humanity was losing this war, and everyone knew it. But Elena knew something the aliens did not know. She knew about Project Prometheus. She knew about the machines sleeping inside this mountain. For 15 years, the greatest minds on Earth had worked in secret. They had studied every piece of alien technology they could steal or salvage. They had combined it with human engineering. They had built something that should not exist. They had built a god of fire or metal. Is it ready? Elena asked. Dr. Marcus Chun looked up from his console. His eyes were red from 3 days without sleep. The neural link is unstable. We've never tested it with a live pilot. The power core alone could level this entire mountain if something goes wrong. The Vektari are 40 kilometers from this position, Elena said. If we don't act now, there won't be anyone left to worry about safety protocols. Marcus nodded slowly. He understood. They all understood. This was humanity's last chance. In a chamber carved from solid rock, pilot James Cooper floated in a tank of blue liquid. Wires connected his spine to the machine around him. He had volunteered for this mission, knowing he might not survive. He had watched his hometown disappear under Vektari bombardment. He had lost his wife, his daughter, his entire world. He had nothing left except rage and a desperate need to fight back. The neural link activated. James felt his consciousness expand beyond his body. Suddenly, he was no longer a man floating in a tank. He was something else, something vast, something ancient, something made of fire and fury. The fire golem opened its eyes for the first time. The machine stood taller than any building humans had ever made. Its body was forged from materials that did not exist in nature. Its skin was an alloy that could withstand temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. Inside its chest, a fusion reactor burned with the power of a small star. Its hands could crush battleships. Its eyes could see through the darkness of space itself. James felt the machine systems come online one by one. He felt the weapons charging. He felt the massive legs supporting weight that would have collapsed any ordinary structure. He felt power beyond imagination, flowing through circuits and cables that had become extensions of his own nervous system. Systems online, he whispered, but his voice came out as thunder that shook the walls of the chamber. Outside the mountain, the Vektari Advance Force had detected the energy signature. General Korvax stood on the bridge of his command ship and stared at the readings with confusion. Something inside that mountain was generating power levels that exceeded anything in the Vektari arsenal. That was impossible. Humans were primitive creatures. They fought with chemical projectiles and simple explosives. They could not possibly possess technology on this scale. Send a reconnaissance team, Korvax ordered. Investigate the energy source. The reconnaissance team never reported back. The fire golem took its first step. The mountain shook beneath its weight. Rocks tumbled down the slopes. Avalanches crashed through the valleys. Animals fled in terror from a sound they had never heard before. The ground cracked and split as something impossible pushed its way out of the earth. When the fire golem emerged from the mountain, it stood in the morning light like a monument to human defiance. Steam rose from its metal skin. Its eyes glowed with inner fire. The sun reflected off its body and painted the clouds with golden light. For a moment, Everything was silent. The Victari soldiers on the ground stared up at the towering machine. They had conquered worlds. They had destroyed civilizations. They had never seen anything like this. James looked down at the alien army through the eyes of the fire golem. He saw their tanks and their soldiers and their walking war machines. He saw the devastation they had caused. He saw the burned cities and the dead humans left in their wake. Something cold and hard settled in his heart. These creatures had taken everything from him. Now he would take everything from them. The fire golem raised its arm. The movement was slow and deliberate, like a giant waking from 1,000-year sleep. The aliens watched with growing fear as a weapon unlike anything they had encountered began to glow with terrible light. The plasma beam cut through the Victari line like a knife through paper. Tanks exploded. Soldiers vaporized. War machines melted into pools of liquid metal. The beam swept across the landscape, leaving nothing but glass and ash in its wake. In 3 seconds, an entire division of Victari forces ceased to exist. General Kovacs watched from orbit with horror growing in his chest. This was not possible. This could not be happening. The humans were supposed to be weak. They were supposed to be easy prey. They were supposed to die quietly like all the other species the Victari had conquered. All ships, concentrate fire on that machine, Kovacs commanded. Destroy it now. 7 warships opened fire simultaneously. Energy beams rained down from the sky like the wrath of angry gods. They struck the fire golem with enough force to crack a planet's crust. The explosion was visible from space. A mushroom cloud rose into the atmosphere. For a moment, everyone thought it was over. Then the smoke cleared. The fire golem stood unmoved. Its armor was scratched but unbroken. Its systems still hummed with power. James felt the impacts like mosquito bites on thick skin. He felt the alien weapons trying to hurt him and failing. He felt invincible. He felt like a god. The fire golem jumped. The force of its leap created a shock wave that flattened everything within a kilometer. It rose through the atmosphere like a rocket, trailing fire and smoke. The Victari warships tried to evade, but they were too slow, too heavy, too confident in their own superiority. James crashed through the hull of the first warship like it was made of cardboard. He felt the metal tear around him. He felt the alien crew dying in the vacuum of space. He felt no mercy. These creatures had shown no mercy to his world. They deserved none in return. The fire golem moved through the fleet with terrible efficiency. It tore through warships like a predator through prey. It ripped out power cores and threw them into the sun. It crushed bridges with its fists and scattered debris across the void. The Victari tried to fight back, but their weapons bounced harmlessly off the human machine. General Kovacs watched his fleet die around him. He watched the fire golem approach his command ship with slow, inevitable steps. He understood now. He understood that the Victari had made a terrible mistake. They had assumed that humans were weak because they were young. They had assumed that humans would be easy to conquer because they had not yet spread across the galaxy. They had not considered the possibility that humans might be capable of creating something like this. The fire golem stopped before the command ship's bridge. Through the view screen, Kovacs could see the machine's burning eyes staring at him. He could feel the heat radiating from its body, even through the vacuum of space. He could sense his own death approaching. Why? Kovacs asked through the emergency communication channel. How is this possible? You are just humans. You are nothing. James heard the alien's question and considered it for a long moment. Then he spoke, and his voice echoed through every Victari communication system in the solar system. You came to our world expecting easy prey. You burned our cities. You killed our children. You thought we would lie down and die. But you forgot something important. You forgot that humans do not surrender. You forgot that we have spent our entire history fighting against things stronger than ourselves. You forgot that we will do anything to survive. Anything. including building a machine that can tear your fleet apart with its bare hands. The fire golem raised its fist. Inside the command ship, General Korvax closed his eyes and accepted his fate. The last Victari warship exploded in a shower of light and debris. The fire golem floated in the wreckage, surrounded by the remains of an invasion fleet that had conquered 12 worlds. Below, on Earth, humans looked up at the sky and saw the burning remains of their enemies falling through the atmosphere like shooting stars. James turned the fire golem toward Earth. He could see his planet from here, blue and green and brown, still wounded from the invasion, but alive, still fighting, still hoping. He descended through the atmosphere, fire wrapping around him like a protective blanket. When the fire golem landed, thousands of humans had gathered to meet it. They stood in silence, staring up at the massive machine that had saved their world. Soldiers and civilians, old and young, all united by the same emotion, hope. Elena Vasquez approached the fire golem with tears streaming down her face. She placed her hand on its metal foot and felt the warmth radiating from within. "James," she said, "can you hear me?" The fire golem knelt down, bringing its massive head closer to the ground. Its eyes dimmed slightly, becoming almost gentle. "I can hear you," James replied. "I can hear everything now. I can feel the planet beneath me. I can sense the Victari sending messages to their empire. They are warning others. They are telling them about the fire golem. They are telling them to stay away from Earth." Elena smiled. "Then we are safe." "For now," James said. "But others will come. Stronger ones. More desperate ones. The galaxy is vast, and there are many species who will see us as a threat now. We need to be ready." Dr. Marcus Chen stepped forward, his tablet displaying endless streams of data. "The neural link is stable. Better than stable. It is evolving. The connection between James and the fire golem is becoming stronger with every moment. Given time, we might be able to build more machines like this." James considered this possibility. He imagined an army of fire golems, each one piloted by a human warrior, standing guard over Earth. He imagined humanity spreading across the stars, protected by machines that embodied their determination to survive. "Then we build more," he said. "We build an army. We make sure that no one ever threatens our world again." The sun set behind the mountains, painting the sky with colors of fire and gold. The fire golem stood in the fading light like a monument to human strength. Around it, humanity began the long process of rebuilding. They mourned their dead. They celebrated their victory. They looked toward the future with new hope and new purpose. The Victari had come to Earth expecting easy conquest. Instead, they had awakened something terrible. They had shown humanity that the galaxy was dangerous. They had taught humans that survival required strength. They had proven that sometimes the only way to protect what you love is to build a god and let it loose upon your enemies. The fire golem stood watch over Earth that night. James felt the planet turning beneath him. He felt the hearts of billions of humans beating with renewed hope. He felt the weight of responsibility on his metal shoulders. He felt at peace. The mountain where Project Prometheus had been born was quiet now, but everyone knew that it was only sleeping. When the next threat came, the fire golem would be ready. When the next enemy arrived, humanity would show them the same lesson they had taught the Victari. Earth was not easy prey. Earth had teeth. Earth had fire. And Earth would never, ever surrender.